ahead, brother.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about Kanye and you know how like his wife's a whore and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I'm not gonna. I think a lot of us won't admit it. I think we love the whores, man. Like
We do.
I don't think we like being settled down with just one woman because it gets boring. Like maybe what if that's for when we older? What if we're supposed to have our
What
fun
if what?
now?
What if what's for when we older?
The whole settling down thing. I don't see any successful relationships around me. I don't
You got
you know
children?
well, one
The boy or girl?
boy.
Okay. It should daughters be slutted out?
I'm not saying daughters got to be slutted out.
That
I'm
is
not
what
saying
that
that.
is what you're saying.
Okay, let me rephrase. I'm not saying, oh, we love the whores, like, but like, I mean, like, we love sex,
So
like,
I'm gonna
we love
ask again. So you like daughters being slutted out?
that. Okay, I get what you're saying. I mean, they like being slut, but they like being slutted out too. I come
Nah,
across
they
girls. I
don't. No, they don't.
I come oh,
Let me
I
tell
come.
you something. Let me give you the biggest secret you may not know. The only reason women are whores is because they know we love whores. We control whether a woman is a whore or not. Men control that.
How
Men,
do we control that?
okay, look at the music. Look at how we raise women. If you think about today's society, we are raising whores. Even the subject that I'm talking about. Kanye West got his whole wife out there showing her titties and ass, but he wants you to think that that's his wife. She for everybody. There's no
Yeah.
value on that. When brothers go out here in the streets, you look at the music that's being displayed. Is that music about a woman saving herself and doing it right, or is that music about her giving it up on the first night?
Is giving it up on the first night.
Right. When we outside in the street, in the hood and shit, where you from?
Me, I'm from North.
So in Newark, is it about keeping that woman and making her right, or is it about fucking her and so you can go fuck the next person?
I get what you're saying. I get
Yeah,
what you're
so black,
saying.
listen, our women will stop being whores when we stop loving whores. That's why, like when you first heard me talk about it, like that porn industry, that
Yeah.
influences a lot of the horse shit that we about.
My thing is, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I've had sexual contact, I was 9 years old. I didn't even watch porn yet, and I already knew from that point. After that, I'm like, Dad,
How
I
did you?
already
You
know that.
said you already had sexual contact at 9.
Yeah, like my first
From
time,
who?
like my
From who?
a girl, like a
How
girl. She
old,
was
how,
10.
how, how old was the girl?
She was 10.
And y'all just decided to just play with each other?
Oh, now we did more. We did more. We was having sex. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
Like
no. What I'm
it
saying
was.
is before y'all got to that point, so you saying you're a 10-year-old girl, you're a 9-year-old boy, was having sex, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was happening before then?
Before then, because
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I'll give
Because
you a
y'all
little
didn't just
breakdown.
wake up, see each other, and decide to have sex.
Okay, so I'll give you like a quick breakdown, so I don't take up too much of your time. My dad was a foster parent, and he would take care of different foster kids, and she ended up being one of the foster kids that my dad was taking care of. And to be honest, like I'm gonna be honest, it's like it just happened. Like we were just touching each other
So
a
before
little
that, you
bit.
had no desire of any type of sexual experience. Nobody ever talked to you about sex. You telling me this 10-year-old girl just came in and started fucking with you?
If I could think back from 9 years old before that was my first
That's
sexual
not what I'm
experience.
asking. I'm asking was what type of, I ain't talking about did you have sex with anybody, but was
Mm.
sex talked about around you? Did you grow up in that environment?
Uh, I'm gonna say no because my dad was like big on that. He's big on he uses the term, he calls it shacking up. He don't like it. He think that's what he
But
called it.
at
He called it
9 years
shacking.
old, you don't know what shacking up is at 9 years old. You're 9.
No,
Right. So
no.
I just want the story. So I'm asking you because I want the story to make sense. So the 10-year-old comes in and does what?
Okay, you like how it's popped off basically.
No, not how. So you saying she just walked in the room and grabbed your rod?
Uh,
Or did she talk you
I,
into it? Did you talk her
no,
into
she
it?
didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I talked her into it. I'm gonna be honest.
So okay,
But the thing
so
he
now
told,
just think about what you said. First you said you didn't have any sexual experience before her. But now when she comes in there, you're saying you talked her into it. So
well, the thing is
now because how old are you now?
24.
So now 9 years old, that's about 15 years ago. So now maybe you might not remember. There could be some trauma. There could be some things you went through before 9 years old. But
Yeah.
you first started off as if she was the aggressor. Now you're saying you were the aggressor. And I just want to get the
Okay,
story right.
she was the
Go ahead.
okay. I might have been the initiator, but she had sex before me because she was telling me. She told me that she had sex.
I
She
understand
has. That's why.
because that goes into another category of our children, boys and girls being molested. That's why I'm wondering if you might have been approached by a girl before the 10-year-old. That's
Mm,
why I'm asking
okay.
you. Is that
Well,
the case? Because if
I
because you're not gonna, it's gonna be hard for you to convince me that you saw this girl and you just knew to have sex with her. It almost sounds like you might have been either touched by a woman, or maybe groomed, or maybe watched something or saw something that influenced you to approach this 10-year-old girl.
um as I'm gonna as far as back I can remember, um the most I could say that ever happened to me that scared me as a kid was I was in kindergarten and this teacher aide, I wanted her to open my milk, and she told me that I had to give her a kiss on the cheek first, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, I don't want to, and then she was like, well, I'm gonna take you in the bathroom and pull your pants down and spank you, and
If you didn't
then
kiss
I
her,
got if I didn't kiss her on the cheek, yeah, so
that's
then I
fucking
got
crazy. Like now we get into it. And what I mean by now we get into it, because you saying that happened in kindergarten, right?
yeah, I was in kindergarten.
And did you kiss her?
Yeah, I kissed her on the cheek,
Yeah,
and she opened my milk.
that's grooming. That's some sad shit. I'm pretty sure. Now we don't have to talk about this publicly, but I'm pretty sure if you call me, we would probably dig up some stuff that you may not remember. That's gonna come to your memory, and that's gonna lead to why at 9 years old you decided to have sex with a 10-year-old girl, and it's
And,
gonna be
and,
sad.
and I'm gonna just be honest, because I don't mind speaking about it publicly. I
Hmm.
would just say this too, like I just called to really be honest. Maybe this was to get off my chest. Like
Right.
I don't know. I can't. I tried to be in serious relationships. I don't. It's like I attract like girls that are what you might call whores. I just keep
Okay.
attracting them.
So
Like the ones that
I'm gonna tell you why you can't have a serious relationship, because your innocency was taken from you by somebody else. So
maybe I don't.
your thought process of whether it's that 10-year-old, that lady that asked you for a kiss that made you uncomfortable, your process, you like, we don't, when I'm saying we, it's all in general. That's why I'm putting myself in there too. Like, we don't realize how victimized we make children. Like, for that teacher to tell you you gotta kiss me or I'm gonna pull you in the back. If you had a sense of, let me tell my daddy that what was said, or let me tell my mama that what was said, that you would see that teacher get arrested. You would see that teacher get punished. And that will let you know that your innocency matters. But instead, you got afraid. Did you tell your parents about it?
No, I actually never told anybody about it.
So this is your
I
first
just
time.
still have
This your
that
first,
feeling of fear.
right? See how you say that feeling of fear? And so when you get that feeling of fear, you think survival. So in your mind, the survival is, let me kiss you on the cheek because I don't want to go in the back and get spanked. That's your form of survival. And it's not supposed to be, your innocency was never supposed to be taken. Now, let me tell you what you did that you may not know of. If you then went to that girl and did the same thing to her, that's why you can't pick a woman today, because you think like what happened to you. Like whatever happened to you as a kid is how you pick women. So you pick women that are whores because someone either tried or whored you out. And so you don't know how to actually reset your clock to pick the appropriate woman that is not a whore. You don't know how to not be a whore yourself. Like, do you keep your women when you're in a relationship with them?
To be honest, I keep falling for whores. Like I'm gonna be
No,
honest,
what
like
I'm
they
saying
tell me,
is, but
oh,
when you fall for the whore, do you stay in a relationship with them or do you go into something that you leave them?
it usually ends up in tragedy because they're whores, and it's like I keep going through the same cycle. Like she
Right.
could tell me,
Because your
she
sexual experience was a tragedy. The
she
way that,
and it's like
just hear me for a second. Your sexual experience, your interaction with women, because that teacher at a kindergarten, you're only about 4 or 5 years old, your interaction has been a tragedy with women. And
now let me ask you this,
mm-hmm,
because I just had a, and it's no disrespect to my pops, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna lie, like it was a point in time where like he used to like make me go put my pants down and like lay on the floor in the in a room, like say if a teacher told him I was acting up, like he would tell me like, okay, go put your pants down and go lay on the floor in the room,
I don't
and
understand it.
then
Lay down naked.
well just lay down with my pants down. I
So
didn't
you
have to
would have
fully
your
naked.
drawers on,
Yeah, basically,
and
and like
in the
he
school
no, not in the school, like at home, like when I was about to get in trouble, like he would be
in
like,
front of
okay,
everybody.
no. So like say if the teacher told him like, oh he was a little disruptive in class today, when we got home,
Mm-hmm.
he would tell me like, okay, go in the room, pull your pants down and lay down on the floor, like, and then like he would come like whoop me, like I would be waiting there, like laying there, then he would come whoop me. Is that like sexual abuse?
Okay. So you're saying he beat you with your pants off?
Like
Yeah,
it's the
that
way.
yeah, it's the way he see how you saying it's the way he did it, and the reason why
Yeah.
you're asking, because now we're getting a pattern. So you got the teacher doing this to you, then you got your pops who was abusing you, which you interpreted as sexual because in your mind, why do you got to take your pants off, lay on the ground, and then get beat like that? This
And then wait,
almost
like only
I'm
like
gonna tell you what it's where it come where it sounds like. It sounds a little bit like buck breaking from slavery. It sounds like that a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's a
yeah.
sad state for you to grow up. And so you don't even you might know this, you might can learn this now, but at the time, your mental is being utterly destroyed. It's
Yeah.
being destroyed from the woman that's making you kiss him or was that the only time she said you had to do that or you was gonna get a beating?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think I ever had contact with her again after that. Like,
Okay.
it's like I never was. Yeah.
Any other type of sexual experiences before 9?
Uh, I do remember this boy, one of these foster care boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now he ain't do nothing to me, but I remember my dad. See, my thing is, because I've been thinking about this too, and that's why I did call to like, I'm like, shit, maybe I need to just speak on it, because I remember like, I remember my dad told me like he had like a problem with like boys, and I remember we was play fighting one time
You said your
or
dad
whatever.
told you that the boy had a problem with boys?
Yeah, like
Okay, I'm with you.
he had a problem with touching boys, and I remember one time we was play fighting, and like I was like on the couch, and he like came and like humped me real quick, like he gave me like a hump, and then like he like. And I was just sitting there confused. I had to be like 4 years old. Four.
Mm.
I had to be like 4. I
Mm-hmm.
had to be. I definitely wasn't like at first grade, but he like came and like gave me like a hump, and then like
Mm.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what in the world? Like
Right. And
that was it.
did you tell your dad that?
Nah, I ain't tell my dad.
Yeah, that like the mistake that your dad did was that he brought a foster kid in there that was known to touch boys. And
Yeah,
you notice how the more we talk about it, the more stuff is coming to your memory. That's why I says if you want to have a conversation offline, we can do that. If you're comfortable
yeah,
talking about it now, that's fine. Because when we first had the conversation, you made it seem like it was the girl. Then when we start talking more, you said you did it. Then we talked about the teacher. Now we're talking about this boy. And the reason why these things are important, brother, is for you to see that it's so unfortunate for this to happen to you, but you were over sexualized at 4 years old. At 4 years old, you getting making a teacher's threaten you with an ass whooping or a kiss, and a foster kid humping you. and you don't know what that is. I'm assuming this foster kid was way older than you.
Yeah, if I was 4, he had to be like 9 or 10.
So he's old. So now what did that say about him? Whatever's happening to him, he's now projecting that onto someone else. And then you actually projected that onto the um the 10-year-old girl. And then she's doing it too. And you know the one thing that all of them have in common, it sound like they're all foster kids. And nobody cares
And I
about the
was,
foster kids. You're not a
I
now I'm assuming your father was your biological father, right? Not a foster?
no, he adopted me. My
So he
mom
was so
actually,
he's not your father. So y'all all are foster kids.
yeah, I was a foster kid. Yeah,
So the
my mom, she had
mm-hmm,
at 14,
mm-hmm,
and he adopted me. Like he knew her, because my mom, she's actually from Harlem, but like she had moved over here after she had me. How somehow ended up meeting who would be like my biological dad, and not my biological, meeting my foster dad. You
mm-hmm.
know, he ended up taking me in, and I could also say another thing that I think also like I feel like I do got a chip on my shoulder because growing up in the hood, like it's like you gotta grow up fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's having sex. Everybody's having sex. Like when I first started coming outside, the first time like I really started hanging outside, I had to be in like 4th grade, and my first few friends on the block coming up to me telling me, "Oh yeah, we got this girl. If if you want, she'll show us the titties and stuff like that." You feel me? We all like
Yeah,
fourth
that's what
grade.
they doing. It remember that's why remember what I said. We control that now. So you see what they doing?
Yeah.
That's what they're teaching. But what I would say is that foster parent is a piece of shit, brother. It sounds because and the reason why I'm saying that he didn't offer no protection for y'all. He didn't
Yeah.
protect you. He didn't protect that girl. He didn't protect that boy. And he allowed all these different children. Foster kids come from all different backgrounds. And so if
Hmm.
you're going to be a good parent, you got to recognize the backgrounds that you bringing all these kids into. So to know that a boy is there that touches other boys, why would he have them around you?
Yeah.
And then now you are being over sexualized and you're being confused. At 4 years old, you as a straight, excuse me, I can't even call you straight, but you as a little kid, a man touching you is not comfortable. A man humping you is not comfortable. That's why you're like, what's going on? Did anything, so after, was that the only time that happened?
I could say it was another situation in the school too with another
Mm,
boy. I'm not gonna lie.
mm,
Like we was like in that was I was in kindergarten around that time too. I'm not gonna lie, I was in kindergarten. Like, and I wasn't watching porn or nothing like that. Like I'm not
mm-hmm.
gonna lie, like I'm horny every day. Like I'm really horny every day. Like I'm like if I don't get it, then it's like dang, I gotta touch myself. I don't be trying to, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's like I already knew after I had sex with that girl. I already knew like because we was going at it because she lived with me for like a year, so we was like doing stuff like as much as we could, like, and I had this feeling like that, like when she leave, I feel like I'm gonna be so thirsty after, and it's like
Yeah,
as
because
I started getting,
unfortunately, brother, your life is about sex because you've been oversexed since you was 4 years old.
yeah,
You're horny because you think that's your life. You have never
yeah,
gotten, you've never triumphed over your molesters because that teacher's a molester, that boy is a molester, and then you became a molester yourself. The only discipline that you can have is to actually try to refrain from sex.
I
That's where you,
tried,
yeah,
I
that.
tried,
Well, I'll tell you what, this number that I got, that's my phone number. You can call me anytime. I'll counsel you. I'll counsel
mhm,
you, and then we can teach you how to resist sex and how to resist whores. You gotta forgive yourself first. Cause you
yeah,
probably cause you say I got this problem. And that's good that you said I got this problem. It's unfortunate that a lot of our young brothers and sisters and what this story represents for my people listening is that girls ain't the only ones that this happens to. A lot of times when we talk about this subject of molestation, um, a lot of times when we talk about this subject of molestation, we immediately think about girls. And girls, it does happen to girls. But what we don't think about is all the boys that it happens to as well. And this is a brother that had courage. I actually said he could talk about it offline, and he wanted to talk about it publicly, and I commend you for that. because a lot,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, the fact that you can talk about this publicly says that you can also resist sex, because you're a brother that is on a live stream, 24-year-old brother with the strength to talk about this on a live stream. You got the strength to control your sexual urges. You
Sometimes
gonna
I just feel women though, because like
sometimes you feel
sometimes
what? I didn't hear what you said.
sometimes I feel mad at women because it got to a certain point that like when I was like in middle school, high school, like I wasn't getting all the girls. Like even though now I know like I wasn't supposed to be focused on that anyway. Now
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got a chip on my shoulder. Like I'm older now. I'm a handsome young dude. A lot of girls be after me. Now I feel like I want to dog them all. Now I feel like I want to dog them all and get back at them. Like, oh yeah, y'all was rejecting me in high school, even though they had nothing to do with me in high school. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, and they still be playing too. Like when I be trying to get some, sometimes they be playing. Now it's like, all right, when I get my stuff together, watch, I'm a dog all of them. Like, watch, I'm gonna have my fun because when it was me, it was all these lies being told in my head. Oh, they want to be with me. They want to get serious with me. Whole time they just whores. Whole time they just
Yeah,
lying. So
but
now I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
tell you, yeah, and so because what you're doing, because you was a victim and a predator, the way you cope with life is by being hypersexual. And a lot of our youth, a lot of men and women that you see that are hypersexual, it's because they were molested. It's because they was molested. It's because whether, and that molestation, people think molestation is just about penetrative sex. It's not always penetrative sex. It's anything that you did against your will sexually. And
yeah,
because that happened to you, the reason why you love whores is because you're hypersexual, because you're cope. That's how you coping with the trauma that happened to you. When really you got to deal with the trauma, and you got to understand that trauma that happened to you doesn't have to define you.
yeah,
That's not your, like. What do you work now?
yeah. I work in a hospital.
Did you graduate high
I'm
school?
yeah. I graduated high school.
Graduated high school. You working? You got your own place, or you live where you live?
I live with my mom.
Right? And you don't predatorize young kids or anything like that, right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not
I'm
influencing.
asking
I'm
for
just
a reason. I don't think you do.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm not getting offended.
Okay, no
My
sweat.
my
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, I just really like girls who are gonna give it up. They're gonna be nasty. They're gonna do like I have all types of nasty things that I like to do, and it's just like I can't help it. Like I feel like I can't help it. Like those like I and I'm not gonna lie.
No, but the
Sometimes
reason why I'm asking you these questions is something different. So you said
okay.
you're not molesting kids, and so the reason I'll tell you flat out why I'm asking that question. I'm asking that question so that you can begin to see things that you overcame. You didn't become a predator yourself. You
No, I've
understand?
never touched it.
That's my point. That's my point. But a lot of people that are victims do become predators themselves. You did not. And you got to know these things because you think that you cannot stop being hypersexual. You think you cannot because you think that's how you have to cope, because you don't realize in things that you've overcome. You don't realize how, like I'll use myself as an example, right? I grew up being abused by my father, not physically, excuse me, not sexually, but physically, right? My
Yeah,
father would be what you call a bad parent. So what I made sure I did was, if I had kids, I didn't want to abuse them. I didn't want to beat them for no reason, punish them for no reason. I made it my business to be a good dad. And the more that I could be a good dad, it helped me overcome me and my brother's relationship. Like I say this all the time. Like, me and my brother's relationship was messed up because of what my dad did to me. He didn't do to them, do to my brother. So I kind of took it out on my brother. You understand?
yeah,
So now what you're
yeah,
doing with the over sexualizing is you're doing to these women. The reason why you're fucking these women or having sex with these women and then throwing them away is because somebody did that to you and threw you away.
yeah,
So the way that you're coping is by doing the exact same thing to these women. And the only way you can overcome that is by not doing that. So you got to know
yeah,
things that you was able to do. So you didn't become a molester. You got a job. You said you work at a hospital, right?
yeah.
You got a
Patient transport.
that perfect. You got a job, you got a house, you living okay. How's your living life? How's your life outside of women?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm in school to get my CNA license as a certified nurse assistant. And
That's
to be
right.
honest, that's another. But I'm be honest, the reason why I did it because I'm like, dang, there's so many girls in this hospital. Like, like that's even why I even got the job in the hospital because I'm like, yo, there's so many women in the hospital. I gotta get a job in the hospital, man. Like,
So you
I
got
couldn't
the
help myself.
job. He got the job for the women. No problem. But even if you got the job for the women, right? You have at least a focus, right? To get the CNA, to do the studying. You just want to be careful that you're not becoming a hunter. That's why I said you're going to have to resist sex. You're going to have to resist masturbating. You're going to have to resist all them things. I'm assuming you're masturbating, you watching porn or something, right?
Yep, every day,
Yeah, you're going to have,
as
yeah,
soon as I
you're
wake
going to,
up,
yeah,
to
as soon as
I
you
go to
wake
sleep.
up, right, you're going to have to cut, you're going to have to stop that. The next time you wake up tomorrow morning, you want to watch porn, just call me first. I'll help you not watch the porn.
I bet
You ain't
I
got to do
got
it. The next matter of fact, the next time you think about watching porn, if it's an hour from now, 2 hours from now, I want you to text me your name. I'll help you. You
you.
understand? Because you were so willing and upfront, and this is something that everybody needs to hear. Because a lot of people that are listening are going through or have experienced the same thing you're saying, but they wouldn't
Yeah.
dare to call into the show and have such an open and honest conversation about it. You
And
willing? Good.
one last thing I did just want to say is like I tried to talk to like what you would call good women, Christian women. Even they're the ones that treat me like, oh nah, let me stay away from him. Like it's like something. It's like they sense something about me. Like, oh nah, but the whores it's like they love you. They may lie to me. They may, you feel me? But
Mm-hmm.
they'll give it up. They'll do that. But like the ones that I did try to like settle in were like what you would call a good girl. They don't be wanting nothing to do with me. And it's not like I really even come off like too like crazy or nothing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like something about me. I don't know. It just
Well, we gotta
I feel like
get through. Yeah, well, we gotta get through the first part. You know, like, depending on the type of woman that you pick. Even if you think it's a good girl, you might think it's a good girl in your eyes. You've never really been around someone to tell you what a good girl is. So even a good girl is based on what you think a good girl is. It might not
yeah,
be a good girl. The
yeah,
scriptures say a wicked woman is given to a wicked man. And unfortunately, you were made wicked. The minute that those things happen to you and you didn't get no justice, you didn't get no counsel, you haven't had time to unright that wrong that was done to you. So that's why
yeah,
I said I'll counsel you so we can unright the wrong that was done to you. So you can
yeah,
know how to pick a woman, so you can control your lust. That's really what you got to do. And it starts with forgiving yourself, understanding that it's not your fault. What happened to you is not your fault. What happened to you, you don't have to be angry at yourself. You could be angry at the person that did it to you, but that anger can't mean I got to take it out on somebody else. The anger got to
so
mean, it got to damn near be like, okay, this happened to me, but I'm not gonna let this control me. Like, that can't define your life. That's your definitive moment in life,
yeah,
and that can't define your life. You can't let that
yeah,
define your life.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I did just feel like I probably need to because it's something I've been like just it's been more in my head lately. Like dang, like I low key did just have a situation with a girl and like it was just another whore. And I was just like, yo, why do I keep running into whores like that
Because you don't
lie?
know how to pick a woman. I'll help you. I'll
But
help
it's
you.
like it's like she chasing me. I'm not even looking away. She literally was
Mm-hmm.
hunting me down just to be another whore.
Right.
Like,
And I'm gonna tell you, because it ain't just the sex, it's the controlling you have during the sex.
mm,
Since you was the victim of the situations and you had no control, now you desire that control of all. Every time you have sex with these women and can convince these women, it's you having control over them that you didn't have over yourself when it
and
happened
you
to
know what?
you.
You are right about that because I do feel like once, like when I have control over them and when I got them all on my body and when I feel good, but when they not, and it's not like I even have the best intentions for them. So, but it's
No, you
like
don't.
when I
And I'm gonna tell you what's heavy. After you finish having control, you know why you throw them away? Because you need to go control somebody else. Because you're
yeah,
not with them because you like them, because you love them. You don't even like sex. You like the
I
control.
really don't. I get tired of it.
Right.
I
You
get tired
like
of the
the
same
right.
stuff.
And I'm gonna because and this is what trauma does. Trauma makes you do things that subconsciously you think you're doing it because you love. Remember, you kept saying you love hoes. You don't really love hoes. You like the control that you can only get from a hoe. A good
Yeah,
woman is not gonna let you control them like that. Only a whore is gonna let you control them like that. And so you seek it. And then and part of the other reason you step away from it is because, because she let you do it. So
yeah,
she ain't shit because and here's the crazy part, because you know your intentions is not good, and she fell for your not ill intentions that you knew wasn't ill intentions. That's why you then hate her for falling for your lie. It's like, how could she
yeah,
fall for it? Because it's all about control. If it was drugs, you would be a drug dealer. If it was drugs and drugs were the control, you'd be a drug dealer. If it was physical abuse and that was the control, it'd be physical abuse. Because of what happened to you, the sex is the control that you desire
yeah,
from women. So you hate sex, but you like the control. And the only way you can fulfill that control is if you have sex with this woman. So, okay, I'm going to get this feeling. That's why you said, once they on your chest, once you dominating them, the control is there. And once the control is gone, you over with.
yeah. And I'm mad. Sometimes I get mad. Like, feel
Yeah.
me? I get mad. And I
Hmm.
just have just one last question.
Okay.
Do you think, because like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm an aggressive person when it comes to that. Like
Hmm.
when it comes to sex, I'll be choking them, slapping them, and stuff like that. Is that anger or is it just
Yeah,
lust? Like what is?
that's abuse. That's abuse
Because they like
because of
it.
your
I
trauma.
think they
Nah,
like
I'm gonna tell you the reason why you're doing that, and it's demonic in this regard. You're doing that because that's what you would have done when it happened to you. That choking, like you almost like fighting them when you're doing it. You're fighting them, choking them, doing all of that stuff. And it's really also because you hate them while you're doing it. Remember, you mad that they even falling for your lie. So you're hating that they're giving you their body. So you have to have sex in a, what's that word? Sadomasochistic way. You gotta have sex
oh,
that way.
that is so crazy because it's like, dang, I want you to be a whore, then I'm mad that you're a whore to me.
Yeah. Because you only want them to be a whore because you need the control. And then once the woman that you're gonna fall in love with is the woman that you try to whore out, and then she says no, but then speaks to you life. When she says no, but she still likes you, she says, no, I want to get to know you. I want to do these things. I want to do that. I want to do this. And she gives you something more, and then takes the control away from you, but wants you to have a different type of control. That's the woman. What I mean by a different type of control is not that she don't want to be with you. She just doesn't want sex to define your relationship. And right
Yeah,
now, you don't even want a relationship. You just think sex is how you control the relationship.
yeah.
So these are all
And
things that.
I did recently just have a girl that came into my life. She actually was like she didn't have sex in like a year, and
Mm-hmm.
I got bored. I got bored, and I just stopped talking to her. It was like she was boring. Like it was like she didn't want to come over. She didn't like she wanted to just sit and talk on the phone and stuff
Yeah,
like that. I just
that's the one. That's the one. That one right there that
well
just want to sit there and watch TV, watch a movie. That's the one.
she stopped talking to me. I'm not gonna lie. She
Yeah,
stopped
because
talking to me.
probably because of something you did though.
She said that I got too much pride from one person and all this other stuff. And
Yeah.
that,
Yep.
and it's like
Yep. You should call
I,
her and apologize and say, "Hey, let's try this again. No sex. Let's try to build
we
this
never even
relationship
had.
again."
That's the crazy part. We never even got to that point.
That's what I'm saying. So you should keep it that way.
Yeah. I definitely, I'm looking at it from like your point of view now, like, because I was telling myself too, and I'm about to get off. I was telling myself the other day, and I was just in my head, and I was just like, I just kept telling myself like, yo, I hate women. Yo, I
Mm-hmm.
hate women. I hate them. It's like I really hate them. Like, but it's like, damn, like I couldn't figure out why. I mean, I'm like, but it was like I was fighting them. I'm like, nah, no, I don't. I'm not one of them type of dudes. But then I'm not gonna lie to
It's
myself.
not
I
that you
gotta be.
hate women, you hate your sexual experience
Yeah,
and you taking it out on women. When you
yeah,
just got to accept that what happened to you was a long time ago. That day is over. Today is today is February 3rd. Damn, this month moving fast. This year moving fast. Today is February 3rd. So from what's your name again, brother?
uh, hello,
Yeah, I'm here. What's your name again?
Jay Sean,
Dayshawn?
Jay Sean,
Jayshawn. So today is
yeah,
February 3rd. So Jayshawn, what's your last name?
Wilkins,
So today, February 3rd, Jayshawn Wilkins has never been molested. He's never been touched. That brother is not over sexualized. And that brother can conquer and you can defeat any demon that is gonna come and get you. First Timothy's I think it's First Timothy. I'm gonna just grab this a couple scriptures real fast.
yes,
Um it says the Lord, this script, let me just read it. This is Second Timothy 1:7. It says the Lord has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be
yeah,
not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partakers of the afflictions of the gospel according to the powers of the Most High, who have saved us and called us with this holy calling. So now you called into this show not knowing that we would have this whole conversation, but here it is, we
mm-hmm.
having this conversation. And so
Yeah,
you can be born again. That's the whole point of me saying nothing has ever happened to Jayshawn Wilkinson as of February 3rd, 2025. Now, what you're going to do going forward is to do everything in your power to become a new man and be what we call born again. And it's in John 3, in John the 3rd chapter, it talks about Christ said, except a man be born again. This is John 3:3. It says, Yahweh said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot inherit the kingdom of God, right? And so
mm-hmm.
you are born again today. Like, this is your start day. I'm going to give you another
Yeah,
one. This is Ephesians 4:22. It says that you put off the conversation, ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are one members of Christ. And you can do it, the same way you could call into this show and take this too. You just inspired and gave life to everybody listening to this live stream. I retitled this live stream and titled it a caller calls in to talk about his life, talk about his life live. And you just
yeah,
inspired a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. I was just on Clubhouse the other day. There's a brother on Clubhouse named Mavu, right? And when we was in the
yeah,
room, I was counseling people in the room. And the brother Mavu said, you should do this more on your lives. And I said, I'll do it. And then here you come, and I'm able to do that for you. So, brother,
yeah,
just know you have a whole renewed mind state. And I have a brother specifically in my organization that specializes in this specifically. And I'll give you
yeah.
his number as well when we get off the phone. I want you to just text me your name so I can lock your name in there.
Okay,
I'm gonna lock you in, and you got my number,
yeah,
and I'm gonna send you his number, and then we're gonna help
okay.
you out. We're gonna tighten you up.
All right, well,
All right?
I appreciate that.
Hey, no
Yep.
sweat, brother.
All right.
All right.